Sengezo Tshabangu anova an opposition as Secretary General thrown under the bus after CAB3 Parliament row erupts over we achiti iye we should not be a partisan. Kusangana patinoita zvakare pana pa YouTube channel yenyu yeMagaba News patinobata nawo dzakasiyana-siyana ziri kuitika munharaunda makatikomberedza nemunyika yedu yeZimbabwe tichitikana pana vachangosvika ndiwo mukana wekubata rakanzi subscribe. Today we have a news from Sengezo Tshabangu according to the parliament debate ranga vachita nova yaita kuti vaSengezo Tshabangu vasumudze mashoko vasumudze mazwi kuenda padenga zvakanyanyisa zvaita kuti zvigotaurika munyika yeZimbabwe apo achitaura kuti patakaita law iyi yeCAB3 iyi tanga tisina upartisan tanga tingori vanhu vamwe ko iko zvino zvaakufamba sei. Chinova chiri chiitiko chasumudzwa navaSengezo Tshabangu apo achipindurana nevamwe vemuparliament zvarakidza veruzhinji vachitaura vachiti Zanu-PF iye amaibatana nayo vaSengezo Tshabangu makuiona zvainoita. Vamwe vakati Tshabangu payment haisati yapinda after being used to sell democracy on 30 pieces of silver. The members of parliament do not even recognize him. So vanhu vari kuti Tshabangu pane zvese zvaakaitira Zanu-PF kuparadza bato restrip siya achibhisa achiita marecalls nanhasi onai zvaakusangana nazvo muparliament. Ngatinzwei mashoko avaSengezo Tshabangu.
These amendments we have researched. We are making these amendments in the good heart, good spirit. Point of order. When we did the amendment number 3, he took our amendments. He took our amendments. Point of order. No, we cannot do that. We can't do that. Honorable Ziyandi, when we were here doing the amendment number 3, he took our amendments here. And the bill was brought back to the opposition.
So manzwa mashoko avaSengezo Tshabangu. So according to news, a new political controversy emerging around Sengezo Tshabangu following debate in parliament, with attention turning to his remarks about the need for lawmakers to avoid partisanship when making and amending the law. Tshabangu has come under scrutiny after supporting the passage of Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3, commonly referred to as CAB3. Now, during parliament proceeding, his comment appeared to raise concern about how amendments proposed by legislators are handling during the law-making process. This has created a strike political picture. On one hand, Tshabangu was associated with the parliamentary process that ultimately saw CAB3 move forward. On the other hand, his latest remarks stressed that parliament should not become partisan when lawmakers are debating legislation. Tshabangu said, "We should not be partisan. We should the minister. We should be the ministers when they come and present their views here. They should be agree to our amendment." The central issue raised by his statement is whether MPs are being given sufficient room to propose changes to the legislation and whether the proposed amendments are being properly considered. He also referred to what happened during the proposal surrounding amendment number 3. According to Tshabangu, amendment that has been processed during the parliamentary process were later affected when the lawmakers went to another stage. He questioned the process, saying, "Well, we were doing the amendment number 3. It took our amendment here and it went back to the opposition." His remarks have attracted attention because they come after a political charged period surrounding CAB3 and the debate over the Zimbabweans' constitutional future. CAB3 became one of the most controversial political issues in Zimbabwe, with the supporters and the opponents offering sharply different views about its implication. For critics, the amendment became closely associated with concern about political power and the future direction of country. For supporters, the parliament process was presented as a part of constitutional and legislative framework. Against that background, Tshabangu's latest comment have raised the question about whether there is a growing frustration among some lawmakers over the way amendments are handled in Parliament. The phrase we should be partisan is particularly significant. Parliament is where the elected representatives debate legislation, scrutinize government, propose and process amendment. In principle, lawmakers are expected to represent their constitution well partisan in the legislation process. Tshabangu appears to be urging that ministers presenting bills should be open to amendment proposed by legislators rather than simply pushing government position through the House. He has said ministers should be agreeable to our amendment, stressing the importance of considering changes during Parliament debate. Tshabangu have faced criticism from citizens and political observers over his roles in the CAB3 process. Some critics have urged that lawmakers should listen carefully to public sentiment when dealing with the major constitutional change. His latest comments therefore provide another angle to the world of debate. The question being raised is simple. Can a parliamentarian support legislation while at the same time demanding a more independent and less partisan legislative process? That is now part of the conversation surrounding Tshabangu. So muri Zimbabwe nauya vasengezo Tshabangu yavaisa pakona yekuti ivo vari kuona kuti pachisina zvavachawana havachapiwa masimba muparliament muye. Vanhu vari kungoona kuti Zanu-PF ndiyo yakungopuchidzira zvinhu zvayo ichiita zvinhu zvayo pasina maopposition. So vanhu votaurawo pana vasengezo Tshabangu vachivabvunza kuti vasengezo Tshabangu pamakada kubatana neZanu-PF manga matsanangurirwa zvizere here neZanu-PF yamakada kubatana nayo iyi. Vamwewo votaurawo mashoko akasiyana-siyana kuna vasengezo Tshabangu maererano neurongwa hwavasangana nawo muparliament, apo pavari kuchema-chema vachiti isusu hatichanzwikwe, apo pavari kuchema-chema nezvizhinji zvavari kusangana nazvo muparliament. Nhau idzi ndidzo nhau dzatakabata pano pachano yenyu yeMagaba News, patinobata nhau dzinoitika munharaunda nemunyika yedu yeZimbabwe, tichiti kana muchangosvika ndiwo mukana wekubaya button rakanzi subscribe nekutena notification bell patinoposta nhau idzi, tokutenda nekutsigira kwamaita YouTube channel yenyu yeMagaba News.